Hey guys, new video, recap video of the Ultra Bonds market from 23 November Tuesday, the recap of the London session and the bond open. Let me show you what I have seen. First of all, always we look at the 4-2 chart, 4-2 Renko. What happened yesterday? This was yesterday, right? This was today. We had the drop. Here we had the drop from this range or balance area, whatever you want to call it. It dropped, and then we ended up in this sort of range. This is Frankfurt, right? This is Frankfurt. So technically, we're not making new higher highs. And higher lows. We are staying below this one. This is all good. And what do we see? What do we do? That's the whole question. What do we see? What do we do? Well, we bounced off this one, so I just placed my zone, and we bounced 3 times off this one, so I placed my zone here, and I adjusted on my 2-1 Renko chart for the structure. This is more or less the bigger picture. So then we switch to our 2-1. This is 2-1 on the left. This is 1-1 on the right. And on above this chart, I have my KISS Orderflow Renko 1-1 chart. And this is showing us trap sellers, trap buyers, and everything. And I'm gonna show you, of course, how we use this as confirmation on the Ultra Bonds trading. We have a plan. We got the zone above, the zone below. Technically, we are down, but we are at this moment in the range. Why were we looking for shorts? Purely based on this story here. We ranged here and we dropped. And the structure-wise, based on 4-2, is looking for shorts. Where do we go short? Where are we looking for shorts? Well, we had a one-time bounce here, where we look for bounce longs. Here we bounced off again on Frankfurt. Okay, this is the most interesting area to look for shorts, because we bounced off before, and we can take shorts from this area. We are looking for longs above this zone, because that will tell us structure is going to change, and we are more convinced for shorts if we are below these levels. Shorts below here. We got also previous VPOC here. If this thing gets broken, there will be a big push, but many times it acts as a strong support resistance. So this is our plan in this trading session. This is our plan: bounce shorts and longs above. I'm gonna show you what the setups were. This is the 1-1. What do we see? We see our TAS navigator getting overbought, giving us the purple bars, telling us this thing might reverse. Okay, interesting. We are looking for bounce setups here. And what do we see? 1, 2, 3 times, right? 3 times. This was the London Open. Structure was still long because we were from Frankfurt, pushing up, up, up. This is a minor zone. You can even remove it if you like. Structure was going up, but I'm not really a Frankfurt trader. London came in. We see the standard deviation, and the structure is still holding. So I was long on this one. Retest of standard deviation. I'm gonna show you on my KISS chart, and then I went directly short because the whole thing changed. So right, we see this. We are still looking for longs in this moment. Price did not change. We made a double top, yes, but there was no new structure. Let's call this microstructure because we are on a low Renko setting. Now we see a lower high, we see a lower low, lower high based on this information. I took this long, my first win. Gonna show you my confirmations here. This is the setup, right? We got trap buyers here with these bars at our SD1, a little bit surge getting in. I just took a few ticks, 4 ticks I believe on this one, and then I see this structure. In this whole area I see different things. I see demand is dropping on our histogram. Demand looks like dropping, but we need supply to get in, and finally after this we see more supply getting in, and then later on this drop supply got in also. So I was long, all good, right? And meanwhile we did see more sellers getting in at the standard deviation 2 and at this close and open level, close of yesterday, the open of this day. We see these are strong levels. We see demand is dropping. So if this thing is not going up, it's gonna go down or range. Sure, right? So my second trade was here, trap buyers. Demand was dropping, supply was getting in. Meanwhile, this thing was not pushing up. This was a bounce based on structure. There was no big move. We didn't got surge bars or buy signals here on these lows. We just got trap buyers, trap sellers, but no big buyers getting in. This thing was not pushing up, going towards the standard deviation 2 or maybe 3. It was not pushing up. So this was my first indication. This thing is not going up. Histogram telling me the same thing. I was looking for that bounce rotation, and here on our normal wrinkle charts we see the same thing. This thing dropped. I took a short. What would be a logical target? The logical target, most close support, would be the VWAP. I had my TP just above the VWAP. All good. 2 trades, right? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Now we are in the middle of the value area. This was the value area over here. We are middle in the value area. The POC changed. I don't take VWAP trades. It was a trapped, no, this was a buyer's bar. Buyers getting in, but not much demand. Look, not enough demand getting in, but also supply not doing much. There was not much going on here in this area. So I didn't like it. I didn't trade it, this area. I don't like the area between VWAP and point of control. Point of control switched here. But I understand structure wise. We had another bounce here. We are rejecting this area where we rejected before. We got another sell signal here. Trap buyers, sell, all good, nice candle. Trap buyers, bulldozer. So we got signals to go short. I didn't take it. POC, VWAP, it's one of my rules. Don't trade between VWAP and POC. And on the histogram, I didn't really see demand or supply getting in. I didn't see it, so I didn't like it. I didn't take it. And this is a good example why you don't trade VWAP trades, because here you could see buyers getting in, right? Buyers, but we got also lots of sellers here, so they are really battling. But based on only this information, if you would only look at these candles and the signals, you would think, okay, double bottom buy, this thing gonna shoot up. But there is almost no demand, so nobody is thinking of buying from the VWAP. We even got more sellers getting in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 buyers, 5 sellers. So this is more selling going on than buying. And we see the same thing here, more supply getting in. Okay, this is what I see. I don't trade anything. I don't trade anything right here. Again, some demand getting in on this move, sure. all good. We got a sort of double top again here, right? But I have a simple rule, don't trade it. Don't trade it. But this was a confirmation, this thing is going down. We're heading towards the standard deviation 1. We got more confirmation, we're looking for shorts, of course. But we're sitting on top of the weekly pivot point. We got our zone below, we got a low or high level here. Let me check what this one is. Prior low, yesterday low. And we got a previous VPOC. So structure wise, this thing is really going downwards. But we are between those zones. So these trades are higher risk. We are between the VWAP PLC. I just don't take it. I don't want to risk my profits of these two trades that were logical. First with structure and the other one just a bounce setup. 2 wins, all good. We wait. Because we don't trade ugly stuff. I don't like it. What do we see in this area? Here, in this area. I did write it down here. We see 2 things. Price do not want to push price above VWAP. We see sellers getting in, but we also see some buyers getting in. But we see sellers getting in, but there's still not much supply going on, but also not much demand. So there's nothing. And that is why price is between VWAP, PLC and ranging around it. So this is not an interesting time and area. There is no setup from our plan. Finally, demand dropped totally and supply got in. We got almost no demand here. We see a small push, price dropped right to our zone, our bounce zone. Here we got it. Some buyers got in, maybe some liquidity, resting orders here. Buyers got in and moved up. No supply, still demand a little bit pushing this thing up, but it doesn't want to go above the VWAP. So this is still crappy. It's ugly. You might consider taking a long here, but it's not logical. We got too much going on here. Structure isn't there, histogram isn't telling us the right things, so we wait. I want to see something new. I want to see this is 2-1. Here we got it. This was the crappy area where we looked at. We made on a 2-1 a new lower high, right? This is clean structure on this picture. We can easily see this thing is going down. So shorts from above, short, all good. It's more safe to look for shorts over here because we're here in this area still with the POC, VWAP, crappy, but finally structure came in. So you might consider something of these setups because we see price bouncing off this zone but not pushing price up. Again, it's at POC, so I don't like it. This was at 12.36. Let me check it out on the here on the KISS. Very interesting, but still not good enough for me. Demand is dropping. Nice. Demand is dropping. Price is moving up. Demand is dropping. Okay. Even supply is getting in. So we see 2 different things. We see sort of divergence. We see candles, sellers getting in here with the search bars, all good, but I don't see like this sell signal on this bar or this bar. Delta imbalance on this trapped buyers bar. Interesting, but I don't trade it because I want to see something new. I want to have a safe trade. So finally this thing broke, right? We broke here. Shorts below was the plan. we had the previous VPOC, and normally we would go for a bounce of this previous VPOC but there was so much supply getting in, so much sellers getting in. Here we got it. Right? Supply, sellers. There's no demand, only selling going on here. Okay. We see price rejecting this previous VPOC. This is interesting. Just rejecting it. It's not pushing above it and retesting it. We don't see new structure pushing away to the upside from the previous VPOC. So this is not interesting to go long. This thing is gonna hold short. Of course, we got multiple signals telling us that this thing is going down. There's no demand. They don't want to buy above. They just want to sell below. And we're also at standard deviation 2. A little bit higher risk to go short, but in this case, there's a lot of momentum going on. There's volume. So here we had two opportunities to go short. I went short on the second one here. And you might consider to look for a double bottom or something, right? A double bottom like here. This one, even trapped sellers right here on this candle. But there's still no demand. There was no demand getting in whatsoever. And even if you took this long and you entered here, this thing is rotating. So you would close your long if you would consider this setup to go long as a bounce setup. But what do we see? We see a lot of supply here. We don't see supply dropping. We don't see supply getting really less and less on this one, right? So this was no confirmation on a bounce. This thing was still pushing down. I went short on the second one, and then we had some more short opportunities. You see how this thing is pushing down. We got trap buyers on this one, supply getting in. I took a small scalp on this one and on this last one. A deeper correction. This is what you want to see. A lot of sellers getting in. Sell, search. There's no demand. This thing pushed up, right? This thing pushed up from the weekly. You want to trade maybe the bounce from the weekly or the weekly in combo with SD3, but there's still room. So you might consider a bounce. We see supply dropping a bit. Sure, I'm with you, supply dropping. But we got this whole push up, and it was on the supply side, buying on the supply side. So this thing is not pushing price up. It's pushing, but there was no continuation, no follow-up. Sellers got in at this moment here. Sellers. I went short again. We got a lot of volume on these bars, on these candles. Easy setup. Structure is down. Bearish. We're looking for shorts. This is a pullback to the EMA. It's above the standard deviation 2. Okay, in this area, standard deviation 1, standard deviation 2, you might look for shorts. Structure is telling us short. You can almost take every rotation. This one, going short. You can almost take every rotation with correct stop management and trade management. As soon as this thing goes against you, you just close the trade. Right? Finally, it pushed. This was a nice trade. I closed this one at the weekly. I didn't know what happened here. But at this area, you might consider to trade the bounce. You want to see what is happening here. But in all this area before, no demand was getting in. So we got more signals telling us this thing will break and drop, then signals telling us maybe I see long and short opportunities, because we don't see any information telling us this thing wants to go long. We don't see buyers getting in on these bars. only 2 buying bars, trapped sellers on this one, sure, good delta on it also, but after this bar directly sellers came in with also a lot of volume. There's way more selling going on here than buying. It broke, small break, retest, and then dropped. So this was the break, right? Then you can take first pullback after the break, one of the trades of our plan, first pullback after the break. Here we got them. We see sellers getting in. This is a very, very nice tool, this KISS order flow, because it's just showing us sellers getting in. We were looking for shorts. What else do you want? You don't want to see demand. There's no demand. There's no buyers getting in. Only here a few buyers, but there's no follow-up. Sure, there's buyers getting. Always there's buyers and sellers getting in most situations. On the lows, buyers getting in, but there's no follow-up. Here, imbalance bar, bulldozer bar, thread buyers, imbalance at the sell, and it dropped. So nice short, final short. But this is at 2 o'clock. That's 20 minutes before bond open, right? And then we ended up in a range. So I was waiting for price to do something, and this is not doing anything. This is not doing anything. Finally, it moved up, but it was unclear. All those guys that went short during this run, they closed their positions, the big fish. That is why your POC changed. We got a change in volume, and maybe some bigger players got in to the long side, to the upside. But I don't like structure like this. But we got a lot of good deltas here. We got good deltas on these bars, a lot of trapped sellers bars, many trapped sellers, all trapped sellers. But I don't really see buy here. No buy and search, only one search selling. So this was not that interesting for me. I still did not see demand getting in. We still have a lot of supply. So I didn't like it. But my feeling was this thing is gonna correct, make a deeper correction upwards. So this is what I have seen and traded on this chart. You see just simple setups following the structure. You don't want to trade messy, crappy shit zone area like this, POC, VWAP. Wait for something new, wait for the market to trend, and then you get enough opportunities to trade. You have enough opportunities to trade. And if you have simple rules like here, bounce weekly, bounce on the weekly, this was a plan for me. Pivot, daily pivot, weekly pivot, but there was no clean double bottom with enough buying getting in. Let me show you this. Where was it? Here. It was this one. Sure, trapped sellers, yeah, but was there many buying going on? Was the demand getting in somewhere here? No. So this is higher risk, right? You can take this long, but after a big volume drop like this, it was a bit higher risk. Maybe you could do it with the half of the positions and just manage a tight stop and you would be okay. But there was no big confirmations on this stuff. Volume, okay, there was volume. Oversold on the navigator, yes, sure, like it. But structure was still showing us down. Ultra bounce, structure that is leading. So we had a lot of setups in this case. We had 2 setups on the London. Then this was the third one, a little bit higher risk. Then we had that crappy range, waiting, playing a game, walking away, getting some coffee, and then finally on the histogram and on the structure we see this whole thing is going down. 2 things can happen. This thing needs to break up. Buyers need to get in, demand needs to get in and stay above the VWAP, or something else is happening in this range. More supply is getting in and needs to break this low, this zone, and this previous VPOC. And it did. So there was just follow up of the structure, follow up on the selling, price push down. You just wait for follow up. That's it. That is how I trade in combo with the KISS chart. If you have any questions, just hit me up on my Discord group, free group, or the members area. I can also teach you more about this. If you have any questions, just hit me up. Let me know what you think about the video. See you later, guys. Bye bye.